Hello, gorgeous. Can we talk? It is December, and I am getting to jingle. I love December. I love the holidays. So let's get started. This is a get up, no makeup kind of day. I have a lot planned to get ready for the holidays. I cannot tell you how much I enjoy the Christmas season. Really, it kind of starts, to be honest with you, I think in October, right? I love Thanksgiving, but I even love Halloween. All right, so it's give me a rose. Let's see, gorgeous, how the, woo! This is really a red one. Okay. Wow. Ooh. What do you think? Hello, gorgeous. All right, we're still working through, just as a reminder, my friend and I had ordered these, the entire run of lipsticks, and I'm down to 4 trying them. Today was Give Me a Rose. We are doing, I'm telling you, a super easy fudge recipe today. And the reason I can tell you that it's super easy is because it has very few ingredients. You don't need a candy thermometer, and everybody can do it. I mean that. Let's get started. I have been looking at different fudge recipes. And actually, I have to say, I'm trying this one out for you guys today, but I actually want to try and make one of the original fudge recipes, which is cooked from scratch with corn syrup. But that one is going to take a little practice. We are taking parchment paper. You can use an 8x8 square pan, but I'm using 2 loaf pans because I want to take one recipe and make it 2 different ways. I put slits in the corner of my paper so that it fits inside the pan super easy. Look, you just fold them all in. I think that is the neatest little nifty trick, by the way. Look at how they go in super easy. And all you do is just cut each of the 4 corners. You just put a slit in it. And then this recipe technically has 3 ingredients, but not really. The butter is just running the stick of butter over your paper so that it doesn't stick. But even if you forget to do that, I have to be honest with you, most parchment papers today are gonna let this fudge come right out. You could do this with tin foil, but I highly recommend, I don't always say that, I usually say use what you have on hand. And listen, you can eat this fudge right out of the pan. Who cares what it looks like if you're not giving it away or serving it, and you just have one of those kind of days where you're like, I wanna eat some fudge. But if you do kind of wanna serve it or cut it, this is one of those recipes that I do recommend you use the parchment paper. So I've got 2 pans. The recipe calls for an 8x8. You could use a 9x9, which would make it a little bit thinner. But I'm gonna do one recipe, 2 kinds of fudge. So let me show you how easy it is. Sweet condensed milk, one of my favorite things. You can cook this in your crock pots, you guys. Yes, sweet condensed milk, just in a water bath. Low temperature overnight, and when you open the can the next morning, it will be dulce de leche. I have given this in, I repackage it. I take it out of the cans like this and I put it in cute little jars, and I've given it as gifts. You can flavor it a little bit more if you want with other flavors, but I don't know why you would. The dulce de leche is just to die for. So I've always got some sweet condensed milk floating around because I love to make that dulce de leche sauce. And at the holidays, I use it in a lot of my cooking. So this recipe is, when I say super easy, oh, if you're wondering why the other can is not out and it's in this measuring jar, it's not because I was measuring it, it's just literally 2 cans. But I was so frustrated with my can openers this morning. Look, I have this really great can opener that I spent the money on, and usually it works really great. It would not open my sweet condensed milk. I tried both sides, so I got frustrated. So I was like, you know what, forget it. I pulled out my handy dandy and opened. And one, it opened beautifully, and the second one, it would only open like a quarter of the way. So I had to sit and scrape out the milk, the sweet condensed milk, so I put it in here just to collect it. So all we've got so far in here are 2 cans of sweet condensed milk. So the hardest thing we've done at the moment is open the cans of milk, which I struggled with this morning, truth. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is your chocolate. Now, if this recipe works the way I'm hoping it's gonna work, which is super easy, you can use any kind of, oh my gosh, I just got a whiff of the dark dark chocolate. It smells so good. This is 70% dark. That means very little cocoa butter is in this chocolate. So it's pretty darn pure. Look, can you see how dark and rich these are? So it's 4 cups of chocolate. So there is not a lot of filler in this fudge. Okay, this is the real deal, folks. You could do half dark. You know, I actually think, now that I think about this, because this dark chocolate is super, super expensive, I think I am gonna do what I was saying out loud. And it just occurred to me, I'm gonna do half of this so that I can extend my chocolate a little bit more. And I'm gonna do half with super, super dark and half with semi-sweet, because the semi-sweet is a lot less money. And this rich fudge is so chocolate dense that I think it's gonna have that same dark, rich flavor, even if I soften it up a little bit with semi-sweet. So give me one. So this is sort of an on-the-spot shift that I'm doing. I'm gonna put this one back in here. So we're going with a total of 4 cups of chocolate. In this case, I'm gonna do 2 cups of this really gorgeous dark and 2 cups of the semi-sweet. And the reason I'm doing that is because the God's honest truth is the semi-sweet is a lot less money. And if I can sort of get a similar product for a little bit of savings, I'm going to do that. You can kind of see even the color. I don't know how well it transforms, but you see the color difference? This is a little bit more light brown, and this is that definitely dark rich. At some point, I think I'll try it with the all dark, but I also know a lot of people don't like dark, dark chocolate. I do, but this might be a little bit better for people across the board. All right, so now we've got the 2 cans of sweet condensed milk, and we're going to add to it 4 cups of the chocolate of your choice. So now, the important thing is that you do not want to burn this very simple recipe, because guess what, guys? Are you ready for this? That's it for ingredients. We have sweet condensed milk and chocolate. What could be better? So I've got it on a, this is probably too high a heat. I'm gonna turn it down to about medium, because the thing about chocolate is without burning it, a little bit of heat will continue to melt it, right? Chocolate doesn't just sort of like, oh, I need a certain temperature to melt. A high heat is gonna melt it faster, and then you're gonna run the risk of burning it. And a low heat is just slow and good, and eventually it's going to melt. So you want someplace between medium and slow and good, because you don't want to burn the sweet condensed milk, and you definitely don't want to burn your chocolate. So can you kind of see how this chocolate's going? It's already very, very melty. It's got a nice gloss to it. And you're gonna keep stirring it. Look at me, I'm kind of cheating a little bit, stirring it. Now, the enhancer. You know when like you see like those medications online and they're like, oh, if you need to feel this way, but it's not working, you can do a little booster. Well, this is a cooking boost when you are doing chocolate. And I do this with my brownies. I do it with pretty much everything I do with chocolate. And I add a little bit of espresso powder. Now, truth be told, I could not find my actual espresso powder this morning. I found instant coffee. The granules are a little bit bigger, but I had gotten this, it's kind of chunky, this instant cold brew coffee from Trader Joe's. But it's very, very ultra fine. And I'm gonna add just about a teaspoon to it. Now, this is not going to change the flavor of your fudge. But what that espresso powder, or in this case, this cold brew powder is gonna do is it just kind of gives it, it just kind of enhances that chocolate flavor. That's the best way I can explain it to you. If you, so I don't do caffeine, so you could do a decaf version. I don't really think it's gonna add all that much. I mean, it's gonna add some caffeine, and you don't have to add it at all. I just like the way it gives a little bit of an enhancement to the fudge. So you guys, this is almost done. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Look, it's pretty much set up. There's like a couple of little lumpy spots in there. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn it all the way down to simmer, only because I have to work really fast at this next part. If you are only going to do one, sorry, I just wanna clean up this little sticky thing so it doesn't get at the bottom of my pants. If you are going to just do 1 pan of fudge, however you like it, if you just want chocolate or white or semi-sweet, and you're only worrying about putting it in 1 pan, that's easy peasy. You're just literally at this point going to pour it out into your 8x8 if you want a little thicker, 9x9 if you want a little thinner pan. In my case, I'm always trying, I like a lot of variety. So I prepared 2 pans, and I've got 2 kinds of flavors that I'm going to make. One of these is going to be dark chocolate. You guys, this definitely is chocolatey enough with that semi-sweet in there, by the way. I mean, I can't imagine how rich it would have been if I did all 70%. I actually think that combination of half and half might be the key. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. It's so glossy. Can you see it? I just love it. So we have a little bit of orange extract. I love dark chocolate and orange. And then that's gonna be in 1 pan. The other pan is going to be whiskey and walnuts. I think that is gonna be, that's my new flavor this year, a little whiskey and walnuts. So what I need to do is quickly beat in a little bit of this orange flavoring into one and then pour it in. And then the whiskey and walnut in the other one. So I'm gonna add, because this is only could be half of that order. I mean, half of that, recipe. I would say it's about a teaspoon of orange extract, maybe a smidgen more, because I do want to taste it. This is pretty strong, this orange extract, so be careful. But you could put any, you could put none, you could just have it be nice creamy chocolate. I've got, look, you see, I mean, I've got all kinds of extracts and essential oil extracts to fool around with. I really love dark chocolate and orange. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take half of this fudge and I'm gonna put it in the bowl that's got that extract in it. And probably a little bit more than half because this isn't gonna have walnuts in it. And then I'm gonna give this a stir and work that extract through it. Now it occurred to me, I usually like to put something on top that tells you what kind of fudge it is. So I think afterwards I'll go back and put some orange sprinkles on the top of this. I don't know if I'll have time to get them well before it sets, but that's it. I mean, all I did was just mix that extract in with the fudge. And this is gonna go right in this wonderful Oh, I can smell it. I can smell the orange and the chocolate. Oh, it smells good. Do you guys ever get those? I remember them as a kid. I actually bought one for a stocking stuffer this year, the chocolate orange, and you break it apart and it's like orange slices. I always really loved that. Okay, so now it kind of sits inside and you're gonna wanna take your spatula and press it in all the corners and just smooth it out, because ultimately you're going to see the top of it when you cut it in about 1-inch squares, which is kind of my favorite way to serve fudge. And sometimes I even dip the fudge in chocolate. So it's chocolate dipped fudge. Yes, I did say that. But you can also wrap it in tiny pieces of parchment paper and tie it with a little bit of kitchen string. You can put it in boxes. This year I ordered these neat little tins, not tins, they're sort of like paper cups. They haven't come in yet. This was my trial recipe. So you guys are watching me firsthand. I have not made this recipe before, and I tell you the truth. So we're gonna see how this comes out, but so far I'm loving it. Look at how, look, doesn't that look gorgeous? If I get the other one done in time, I'm gonna try and run and grab some orange to put on top of it. Important so when people see the fudge, you know what's in it. So I've got this little, look how cute this is. See this little, yeah, see, can you see this? It's got like the little sprinkles in it. And so I'm gonna add a little bit of orange to the top, so when I cut this, people will know, it kind of gives them a heads up that, oh, there's something orange, maybe orange flavored, orange-esque, probably orange-esque about this fudge. And these hopefully will settle down and stick to the top of it because I'm a little late in the game to give it a little beating. And hopefully, oh yeah, it's sticking. Oh, they're sticking, look at. So now we know it's orange fudge. Now let's get to our whiskey and walnut. So now we are taking, this has just been on low because we didn't want it to set up too quickly, which it's almost doing. Giving it a stir. All I've done is separate this super easy version of fudge. Couldn't be any easier. 2 ingredients. We're gonna add about a tablespoon. I mean, if you're gonna do it, you gotta taste the whiskey. I'm gonna whip that in there. That little bit of liquid. Oh, it's so shiny. Oh, you can smell it. And then I'm going to fold in some walnuts. I would say about a cup of walnuts. And I used pretty big pieces. So when I cut this, I'm gonna have to use an extra sharp knife. But we'll pull that paper out so I'll be able to get nice clean cuts because I won't cut it in the pan, we'll lift the whole thing out. So I added about a cup of walnuts to the fudge. You know what, I think I might need a little more. Maybe a cup and a half. Okay. And now we're going to pour this one into the other pan. I didn't divide it exactly and equally in half because the walnuts is gonna give this more volume. The other one is just the straight fudge. Okay, so let's get this one put in this pan. Okay. This looks really delicious. Do you guys like fudge still out there? Growing up in Michigan, every place we went, in the northern UP, like up in Mackinac Island and stuff, fudge was like the thing. You could smell it in the streets. It was always customary to bring it home when you went to visit somebody. Traverse City has a ton of fudge. And I was recently, this past fall, in Ann Arbor, and one of the quintessential fudge stores was in Ann Arbor now too. I think it's been there probably for a while, but we happened to stumble upon it. And it is just a staple. And I feel like a lot of little vacation towns, like in the summer and stuff, will have ice cream and fudge shops. But I don't know, I'm not a summer fudge person. The holidays hit and I just feel like, oh, I want some fudge. Okay, so now our chocolate fudge is in there. Oh, you guys, look at this. I don't want to waste that fudge. Ha! Let me pat that down in there. Ooh, the consistency is so silky. 2 ingredients only. 2 ingredients. That's what we got for you, just 2. This is a whiskey walnut that I made today and orange. So here's the orange. And now just to top the top of this, you know what? I don't know if I want too big of pieces. Let me just run a quick blade through these. And we're gonna top the top of the whiskey walnut with some rough cut walnut segments. And again, this is just sort of letting people know, hey, this is kind of what you can expect to be, let's see if you can see this, inside this fudge. So I'm trying to take just the pieces and not the dust, the walnut dust. You know what the dust is? When you cut nuts, it makes these tiny little pieces. I'll save those to put inside some kind of other baked good, but on the tops of my fudge, I want to be able to just have pieces. I'm gonna break a few more pieces here. And guess what, guys? This is gonna set up for, I would say, an hour, 2 at the most. You don't want to set it up too much. You can put it in the refrigerator during the summer. I'm gonna put it out in my porch. We got snow today, so I know my porch is plenty cold. And I will come back and try and cut this for you. So, my fudge rested for about an hour and a half. I have been decorating Christmas trees. And I just wanted to show you guys this 2 ingredient fudge. 3 if you count the butter that you're gonna rub on the paper. Look how easy they just pop right out. Look at this, pop right out, yeah. And here's the other one. And if you remember, we did one batch, and I did one batch, and instead of putting it in an 8x8 or a 9x9 pan. I use 2 bread loaf pans, and that way I could work quickly and flavor and get 2 flavors out of my fudge. So we did a whiskey walnut, which is this one. Oh, it comes right out. Look at how nice that comes right out. Oh, I think I could have done a little bit better job of smoothing the top. And then here is our orange, and we add a little bit of orange trinket to the top, this little bit of orange round candies, so people kind of have an idea that there might be something different about it. So let me cut this one first, since there's no nuts in it, with my knife. And I like about a 1-inch square. Ooh, it's so nice and creamy. Oh my gosh. Look at that. It really is. It's almost just like a chocolate ganache. And then I would cut the slices and cut these into nice little squares. And then what you can do is store them for about a week to 2 in a refrigerator. You could freeze them for up to at least 6 to 8 months. You want to wrap it really well in saran wrap and then maybe tin foil in an airtight container. But those can last you 6 to 8 months. So seriously, I could have done this a long time ago for Christmas. But you know, I always intend to do it and then I don't. And you can also wrap them in cute little paper. So I ordered these holiday papers, which have not come in. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna take some parchment paper, roll it, and turn it into these cute little packages of fudge. Look at how cute these are, you guys. Look. Doesn't that look like just a cute little present? And then you could even tie around it. I forgot to bring down the ribbon, but can you imagine it in a ribbon? I think it would look really, really cute. And then it can go inside a box with some other treats, and then they'll get to unwrap this little fudge present. But I have to take a taste before I let you go. So let's see how this 2-ingredient condensed milk, and I did half dark chocolate and half semi-sweet. There is, no reason. You know what, I told you on the other feed that I was thinking about trying to make the traditional fudge where you cook it, you have the candy thermometer, you have to let it rest, and then you have to agitate it. I don't know why you would do that. Honestly, this is so good. I mean, sometimes cheating is cheating and you just kind of accept it. But I don't know, guys. I might just have to go with accepting how easy this was. This is the whiskey walnut one. Can you guys see the walnuts inside there? The orange one is good. I put like 1 teaspoon. I probably could have put a little bit more. But let's try this whiskey walnut one. I love nuts in my fudge. Creamy. No crystallization. Oh my gosh. This is the recipe. Forget the fluff. Forget the marshmallow. I know, it's melting in my mouth and it's so good. 2 cans of sweet condensed milk, melted with 4 cups of chocolate. You will have the most decadent, delicious fudge for you and your family. I'm gonna make this dark chocolate one, whiskey walnut, orange essence. I'm gonna do some white chocolate with peanut butter, some milk chocolate with peanut butter and caramel. And that's what's going in my boxes with cookies, along with my goof balls, which are peanut butter balls. And I'm doing a new pecan ball this year, and then my chocolate dipped Oreo cookies. So keep watching and stay gorgeous.